Welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right into a truly wild mythological showdown today. We're talking about an ancient story that literally pits absolutely stubborn fanaticism right against the ultimate expression of divine unity. It's this gripping, honestly kind of hilarious tale of shape-shifting, escalating divine irritation, and ultimately a really profound cosmic lesson on balance that still hits hard today.
So here's the big question to start us off. Why did Lord Shiva actually have to take the Ardhanarishvara form? Like, what force could possibly be so disruptive, so incredibly annoying, that it would compel two supreme deities, Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, to literally merge their physical bodies into one single combined form? Well, to understand the sheer magnitude of this response, we have to look at a bizarre cosmic standoff sparked by just one incredibly stubborn guy.
This brings us to our first section, Sage Bringi's stubbornness.
Okay, so Bringi had this intense level of devotion, but it was frankly completely flawed. In Hindi tradition, showing reverence often involves respectfully walking in a circle around the deity, right? But Bringi had this incredibly unyielding rule for his worship. He only wanted to honor Lord Shiva. He wanted to completely actively ignore Goddess Parvati, even though she was sitting right there beside Shiva. So to pull this off, he kept trying to pass right between the two of them. Well, Goddess Parvati wasn't just going to sit back and let this blatant disrespect slide. She responds by physically moving closer to Lord Shiva, creating a physical barrier to block Bringi from just casually strolling between them. She's basically forcing him to acknowledge her presence as an equal.
And that kicks off Section 2, Bringi's changing forms.
Now let's dive into this, because if you think a simple blocked path is going to stop Sage Bringi, you are seriously underestimating his sheer, almost ridiculous level of stubbornness. Instead of taking the hint and bowing to both deities, he doubles down. When Parvati closed that initial gap, step 1, Bringi magically transformed into a mongoose just to slip through the remaining narrow space. I mean, wow. But the next day, Parvati sat so close to Shiva that not even a mongoose could squeeze through. So step 2, Bringi turns into a slithering snake, gliding right over them. Parvati responds by sitting even closer, completely sealing the space. So what does this guy do? Step 3, he transforms into a tiny fly, just buzzing right over and around Lord Shiva. It's this rapidly escalating battle of wills, with Parvati closing the gap and Bringi just shrinking himself smaller and smaller to keep ignoring her. Oh, and hold on to that fourth step, the mouse, because we're going to get to that wild detail in just a second.
Moving right along to Section 3, the Ardhanarishvara avatar. So, to finally put an end to this fly buzzing around just one half of their divine presence, Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati take the ultimate step. They merge their bodies completely, taking on a breathtaking, combined form known as Ardhanarishvara. Now, what's really interesting about this is that it literally translates to the Lord who is half woman. It's the half-male, half-female deity form, symbolizing the inseparable, harmonious union of masculine and feminine cosmic energies. One half is Lord Shiva, the other is Goddess Parvati. It's this powerful, undeniable visual statement of absolute equality. There is no longer a between for Bringi to pass through. They are completely, beautifully one.
But incredibly, we still haven't reached the end of Bringi's audacity. Faced with the literal embodiment of cosmic wholeness, his fanaticism is so deeply ingrained that he takes the form of a mouse. Remember that step 4 I mentioned earlier? Yeah. His goal as a mouse was to literally gnaw a physical hole right through the center of this merged divine form just so he could circle the Shiva half. It is literally the absolute peak of absurdity and disrespect. No way was he getting away with that.
Which brings us to Section 4, Goddess Parvati's anger.
The tone of our story shifts right here, because this is no longer a whimsical game of shape-shifting animals. Bringi's literal attempt to violently tear apart the divine union demands a real consequence. Parvati is absolutely furious. She looks at Bringi and delivers this devastatingly precise punishment. Listen to the weight of this. She says, "Since you have such an aversion to femininity, why not separate the feminine power from you entirely?" Wow. With that, she enacts absolute divine justice by stripping Bringi of his feminine energy, the vital force known as Stri Shakti.
And that brings us to Section 5, the importance of feminine power.
You see, this story isn't just about punishing a stubborn sage. It's actually a masterclass on cosmic balance. In yogic philosophy, every physical body relies on both masculine and feminine energies to exist, and this story brilliantly illustrates the exact consequence of losing that balance. With Stri Shakti, that vital feminine energy, a person has wholeness,
vitality, the actual flesh and blood that makes up the physical form. But without it, well, the exact moment Parvati separated this feminine energy from Bringi, he suffered a total physical collapse. He lost all his flesh and blood, immediately reducing into a weak skeleton, completely unable to even stand up on his own. His fanatic attempt to isolate the masculine just resulted in his utter ruin. He learned the hard way that you literally cannot have strength or life with the nurturing, substantial power of the feminine.
So, the crucial takeaway from all this is that true devotion, and frankly, a true understanding of the universe, requires honoring both masculine and feminine forces. They are not opposing factions. They are two essential halves of the exact same whole. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a profound thought. Are we still making Bringis the stake today? In our own lives, in our societies, in how we view the world? Are we stubbornly trying to separate the inseparable? It's definitely a fascinating question to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep exploring the incredible balance of the world around you.